Yeah, it's what was I saying?
Cut you off in your flow. You've had mental health illnesses in the past. I think that's what you just said.
Well, no, like I was saying, you know, when you're not ready to hear something, you know, like I have heard maybe in the past someone like you who's being positive about it, and I've thought to myself, I can see why that person would think like that from that, but that's not my reality. And I know what I'm doing, obviously subconsciously, that it's because you're not ready to hear it. But I wouldn't have been able to argue with that. You know, what you're saying just makes so much sense. It's just that you might not be on that wavelength at that time. But you can't argue with it at the same time, because it makes so much sense what you're saying, you know. But I know it's so difficult to approach that subject, isn't it? Because, you know, like I remember hearing someone say when I was in the middle of it all with Harry, you know, oh, ADHD isn't real. And you're like, oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you don't live with me and you're not seeing how my son's suffering. Yeah.
You don't think it's real? Come see us, you know. But did they mean it? I mean, they wouldn't have said it like you. No. It would have been one of those, oh, it's not real.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like mental health isn't real.
Yeah, like some
real.
people, and I don't agree with that.
No, absolutely not. No. It's very real.
Yeah, and how rude as well, and dismissive of someone's feelings to be like, oh, well, that's not real.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just get on with it.
Yeah.
But you can still say it's not real, but coming from a totally different angle, because you're not saying that you know, the feelings aren't real and the mental health issues aren't real. But it doesn't have to be this one thing, does it? No. It, like you said, everybody's the same that comes in. Some people come into you with mental health issues, some people don't. But it's all the same.
They're all the same.
It's just they haven't been told that they are whatever.
That's it. They haven't been given a label. And this is what I'm saying. It's not that the effects of, let's say ADHD, let's just take ADHD. It's not the fact that I'm saying ADHD isn't real.
No.
Because the effects of that are very real. What I'm saying isn't real is the label.
Yes.
Is the disease.
Yes.
Some humans, well, like I said in the last podcast episode, I read some people in a room, in a chaotic room, came up with these labels.
Yeah.
That's that one. Yeah, we'll say all these symptoms are called bipolar disease.
Yeah. Great.
This is what I'm saying isn't real.
Yeah.
The manifestations of it in people's lives are so real.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if I more than anyone know they are, because of how I've experienced in my own life and how I see the people that come in and sit in my chair. They're very real. But it's not a disease.
No.
It's not a disease. It's not an illness.
And how sad that people are being told that.
Yes.
And of course they're going to believe it. It's coming from like a medical professional.
Exactly. And it's feeding into this victim mentality. Yeah. And not to get all conspiracy theory again, because I'm not. But if you think about it, isn't it great to have people in a place where they don't realise their own power?
Yes.
Because then you can keep them down. Yes. You can keep people down when they think that they are powerless to help themselves, and that they have to rely on external things, medication, to help them.
And like you say, the conspiracy theorist in us is like, well, no surprise, there's a waiting list as long as your arm for, you know, all these assessments and medication. Is that what they want? Because they're telling all these people, well, you need us to thrive. You need someone else. You can't do this yourself. You're dependent on us. Again, it's feeding into that. It's like that, you know, those subliminal messages, isn't it? You know, and how we were talking earlier about, you know, a society divided is a lot easier to control, or a society living in fear And half of us are on the CAMHS waiting list, doing just that, living in fear for ourselves, for our loved ones.
But the thing that breaks my heart is that you guys are all on these waiting lists.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any.
Not getting
it's
anywhere.
Not going to get. One, you're not getting anywhere anyway. But even when you do see them, they're not going to do it. They can't help you.
No.
What they're offering isn't going to help.
No.
That's what's upsetting. And again, this isn't their fault. It's not the people in CAMHS or in like the mental health teams. They're people as well, and they're doing what they've been taught, and they're doing what they can do in the realms that they are capacity. But somewhere along the lines, however high you've got to go up, something's got to change. Something has got to change. Like, I would like to see kids who have got ADHD seeing therapists like me.
Yeah.
That are trained to work with children as well. Like, I mean, who are trained to work with children specifically, and work with them on their self-esteem, their self-worth, managing their emotions, because that's what it is. Get them when they're showing signs of anxiety, not when it's too late and they're depressed. That's it. Because they have all the, again, like I said before, you have all the answers within yourself. I say this to my clients all the time. I don't have to know anything.
No,
it's brilliant. I don't need to know anything. All I need to know is how to guide it out of you.
Yeah.
You and your subconscious mind, more specifically, has the answers.
Yeah.
You just have to listen to them. And you can do anything that you want to do when you do that. You can heal yourself. You can literally heal yourself. You know, I just said about my back in the last episode. Like, I truly believe that we all have the power to heal whatever's wrong with us and keep ourselves healthy. The main cause of disease is stress, and stress is your mindset and how you see the world and how you manage your emotions. So literally you can you could stop yourself from getting diseases, and now I'm not talking specifically mental health diseases, I'm talking diseases, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, whatever. You can do it by keeping yourself stress-free, managing your emotions, positive mindset. So all the stuff we were talking about that's the opposite of mental health illnesses, that is how you can keep yourself healthy. But then even when you are unhealthy, it means that somewhere along the lines you can assume that you haven't processed some kind of emotion, you know, or you're holding some kind of belief that makes you feel that way. And so therefore, if you can identify that, you can heal it because you think a different way. And that's as simple as that. Can you imagine if we all knew that? But the problem is, as well, is it's not so easy as that, because we have, talking about beliefs again, these societal beliefs that we can't do that.
No.
Even me, as a hypnotherapist who knows this stuff works, with all my knowledge that I do have, I still have to fight a belief that I can make myself well. It's in there. It's so deep. It's so deep. And this is the problem as well. You can't just be telling people it and just saying, come on, you can all heal yourselves.
No.
There's a lot of work to do there to be able to do that. And I think that's why when you see people who have these miraculous recoveries from cancer, or we spoke about Anita Morjani, didn't we, in one of our other episodes, that. But, you know, it's not just her. There's a lot of, you know, they don't have necessarily have to have near-death experiences to experience that either. No. There are some people that get diagnosed with cancer and then have miraculous recoveries. And I truly believe, and it's a smaller number than the ones that die, but I believe that it's because they could not. Do you remember when I told you, I said, you know, that moment when after Mum had died, and it was like the day after or 2 days after, and I said, I could sit there and remember, like I can see myself just thinking, I cannot carry on with the belief that there is nothing after this life.
And she's just
gone. No. I cannot carry on living that way. And in that moment, I changed my belief system. I could feel it. I rewired like that. Now, I think that's what happens with these people that have the miraculous recoveries from cancer. I think that something happens to them where they think, I cannot die right now, and they change their belief. And then because they change their belief and then are willing to look at other ways of healing themselves, they can do it.
I mean, how often as well do you hear that someone is dying with terminal cancer but they manage. There is something coming up, and they are determined not to miss it, are they?
Mm-hmm.
And they always.
I know someone in our family happens.
They always manage to make it to that event. Now, why is that?
Because you can control it.
And then after that, they let go, and they, quite not long after that, pass away. So that tells you the power of the mind, doesn't it?
100%. We had that with my husband's auntie. She got married to her husband who was dying. He had terminal cancer. They got married, and he was holding out for that because he wanted to marry her. And he died the night of their wedding. So he got married, he got through the wedding, and he died that night.
Wow.
And okay, I know that's that's different, isn't it? Because that's not about healing. But again, it's showing you the control and the power that we have.
Thought,
yes.
I cannot die is the same sort of thing as saying, I will marry the love of my life.
Yeah, or I will heal myself. Yes.
It's the same, isn't it?
Absolutely. It is. And I bet there's everybody here can think of even if it's not obviously that on that kind of bigger scale, there'll be something where they thought, there is no way I am not going to do that.
Yeah.
And they did it. Again, it's all odds. I'm sure we can all think of something where you just think, well, everything in me would have told me I couldn't have done that, but there was just no other option and I was going to do it.
Yeah.
It's no different. No. It's just the smaller things, the beliefs aren't as strong, so we can do it a bit more easily.
Yeah.
And I do truly think that sometimes it just takes a really big event to happen, like me losing mum, or someone who gets diagnosed with cancer and just really thinks, I am not ready to go right now. And that's all that's what it needs. It needs that big kind of change, but you don't always have to have that big change. Also, beliefs change over time.
Yeah.
So it's like with my back, like I mentioned, my belief was changing over time, over a longer period of time, every time I was reading and learning something and slowly starting to change my belief because of the evidence that I saw. And yes, the skeptics out there can say confirmation bias, and I agree, it is confirmation bias. We see what we want to see.
Yeah.
Well, why then would you not choose to see the things that you want to see, like that you truly want to see, that are going to make your life better?
Yeah.
That's what I spend my life doing now.
Yeah.
Because that's what life is. That's the game.
Yeah.
The game is about confirmation bias.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're trying to confirm something that's going to propel you forward and make you happy. Because that is what you'll get.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because reality, like we said in the last episode, one before, this is all a game. Nothing's real. We're creating it inside our minds.
Yeah.
So create something good.
And that's the battle, isn't it? That's almost like,
it's not easy.
That is the game. It's like, who can realise that the quickest?
Yeah.
Because some people, come into the world just knowing that, don't they? And they're, you see them, don't you? And they're very, they're successful and all of that. But
that you'll call them lucky.
You'll call them lucky, but it's because they've probably just come in with that. Some of us have to learn it. Some of us will never learn it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that is the mission, when you can go, oh, that's what it's about. It's just, they send us to this place that's so difficult, that's so full of emotion and all these things that keep you down. And it's who can figure out the aim of the game the quickest.
Yeah.
And you're the,
And can you do it, and what you're going to learn in the process, because it's all about, the journey, isn't it? And learning as you go, and the lessons that you come in wanting to learn.
Yeah.
But I feel like with the shift that we spoke about before, that's a whole nother thing where it's like more and more of the population are starting to realize that there is another way. This is where this shift is coming out. And so maybe, in the next few generations where people come down, they are just going to come down knowing their powers as a creator.
Yeah.
As a creator of worlds.
As I think they did in days of yore.
Exactly. Ancient times that we don't, that prehistory.
Yeah.
That's been wiped out of our history books, but actually is now, again, with this whole shift, is coming up. It's coming up to the surface. All these lost places. I was just listening to something the other day, actually, because I'm interested in the ancient civilizations and all of that. I always have been, but I was just listening, and now these mythical lands, people, they're finding them.
Oh my god!
So there's one in India that, like, I don't know an awful lot about, like Indian, like what do you want to call it? Like, I don't know, all the Indian kind of spiritual stuff, the stories, the ancient, the kind of stories in history. I don't know an awful lot, but apparently there's this mythical city, land in India that has been spoken about a lot, but everyone just said it was a myth, like Atlantis, or you know, and they've now found it under the sea. And you know, it's all of these, like I've always thought as a child, these things come from somewhere. Yeah. And there's too many repeating stories from different cultures, different civilizations, different time periods, and yet they all have this same theme. Yeah. And I have no doubt that Atlantis will be found at some point, if it hasn't been found already, and they just, you know, they found it, but they don't want to accept that that's what it is, because oh my god, you can't say Atlantis existed.
And it would be no surprise, would it, if this year they are starting to find all these mythical lands appearing.
There was another one they were saying as well. I can't remember where it was. And, you know, all these things these sites that they're finding that are predating our history as we're being taught. So, you know, humans started at a certain time. This is when human civilization came in, and from there, and actually now they're finding sites that prove that like tens of thousands of years before that, there are humans there building structures that prove that they had knowledge of the sky and of, you know, being able to predict things that are happening now.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I don't even know how we got onto that, but
wow.
It's just the shift, isn't it? It's just this
like we're coming full circle. Yeah, maybe we're going to start coming in like we were in the beginning of time, with that knowledge.
Yeah. Because I do feel like that's why we wanted to start this podcast. Yeah, that was our mission, wasn't it? To let people know, look, there's another way of looking at life. Yeah, and you can look at it through the psychology lens, the spiritual lens. It's all the same. Yeah. And I think you need it all, because we need that bit of grounding. Yeah. Don't we?
Like, we love it, don't we? When there's like some science to back it up.
Yeah, of course.
It's just the scientists are so reluctant, aren't they, to release this information, because they then have to rewrite everything that they know, and they don't really want to do that.
They can't be bothered with that. They've spent their whole lives knowing something. Yeah. And they don't want to, at the end of their careers, they don't want to have to do that. Let the young ones come in and do it. And this is where I get to as well, like these new souls coming in that have got ADHD and, or that they think differently. They're the ones here to question authority. Yeah. To say, no, that's not, you've got piles of history here that you've ignored. Yeah. This isn't the way it went. No. We have to rewrite history, basically. Yeah. And again, going back to keeping people not knowing their power and understanding their power, you start rewriting history the way it's coming out. It's again proof that we are more powerful than we realise. Yeah. And again, empowering people to, I don't know, think more of themselves, and that's dangerous.
They don't want to do that, do they? And think for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of what they're feeding us.
Yeah, yeah.
Which a lot of people are waking up to, actually, aren't they, I think.
But the most important, you know, we can go on and talk about conspiracy theories and, you know, what they are trying to do, but I think it still comes back down to focus on yourself. Yeah. Because like I said, with, you know, the whole of hypnotherapy and the healing journey, the answers are all within you. Yeah. And when you can understand yourself, the world becomes clearer. That gives you the power, the empowerment to be able to change your behaviors and your thoughts. And then that's when you can start doing things different. That's when you become a conscious creator. Yeah. And that's when you can create your life that you actually want, and not be on this autopilot, you know, loop of just having the same boring, dull thing, because you're living through this lens of, you know, of your past programming with these layers on. Like I said, like, peel the layers off, let your light shine, because we've all come down here to shine our light, and we all shine our light in different ways. And when you don't understand yourself and you have all these layers on, you're not seeing your true potential.
No.
It's being hidden by these layers. But when you start peeling the layers off, you understand what you came here for. I mean, God, the one question that everybody comes to me and asks when we do past life regressions, well, they want to ask their higher self, their, you know, what is my purpose here?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know what their purpose is. I'm telling you, the best way to find out your purpose is to find out yourself.
Yeah.
Understand yourself, dive into yourself, build up your self-worth so that you can acknowledge what your gifts and abilities are that you came in with. And you've all come in here to do something, and it doesn't matter what it is. Some people have come in to be, you know, create massive change on a global scale. Other people have just come to work on their little area, their people, and they might never be known for it, but those people are just as important as the ones that do the big global transformation.
Yeah.
We're all here for a reason, and we're all important, and we all have massive effects on everybody else's life. But you cannot do that if you're still living with all these layers over your light. You've got to pull back those layers and understand then who you are, acknowledge you for who you are, and love yourself for who you are, and then your talents and your abilities will show, and then you'll be able to share them. Because when you're confident in yourself and you love yourself, you'll go out there and you'll do it. And whether that is you working in McDonald's and smiling at people as they come in and just sharing your energy of who you are, you will make that, you can never know what you might do to that person who came in to buy a burger and how they were feeling and what you could do. Or whether that is that you're, I don't know, some kind of doctor that does life-saving surgery, finds out how to do a transplant, whatever, like a political activist that saves Africa from famine. It doesn't matter, you're all important. But as long as you're doing what you came here to do and shine your light, nobody else can do it like you.
Yeah. And we're all contributing then to the greater good.
That's it, exactly. That's it. And that's how you make how you make the world better. Do your thing, be you, love you, and then you can help everybody else. And that bloody ripple effect, you'll never know. We never know. No, we don't know. But if you go out with the intention of, you know, of kind of harnessing that ripple effect, then at least you're going to do, it's going to give you a purpose.
I was going to say, then you get your purpose.
Exactly.
Then you realise that is your purpose.
Yes.
You don't need to be a doctor, a nurse, a fireman, a policeman, all these the labels.
Yeah.
It is just whatever it is. If you're going out and just shining your light, that is your purpose. Yeah. Whatever comes to you from that is right for you and personal to you. Yes. But your purpose is to be your best you.
Yeah.
And just shine your light.
I love that. Let's finish it. Something's wrong with Beck. If you're just listening to this and you're not watching it, Bex was trying to fist pump me, but it looked like she was having some kind of spasm, and I just looked at her and I left her hanging. But
left me hanging, guys.
if you're just listening to this, please go on YouTube and just go to the end of this episode so you can watch that exchange, because I think we need to watch that back.
We do.
That was funny. Okay, and with that, on that note,
I'm fine, I'm not having a fit.
Becky's well, everybody. Okay, well that was a random little bonus episode, wasn't it?
My brother, yeah.
Not on camera, you don't look like it on camera.
Rosie.
Yeah. That was a random episode, wasn't it?
It was random.
It's a little bonus episode for you, but I think there's little bits of little nuggets you could take from
that. Yeah, that was cool.
Right then, everyone.
Take care, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.